Biden has signed an executive order allowing transgender people into female bathrooms. For me, this is not very good because I'm looking at the long-term effects. I'm looking at what these laws are trying to change in humanity. I'm not looking whether it's moral or immoral for transgender people to be in those societies. I'm looking at what they're trying to change in humanity to make changes so that they can bring about agendas in the future. What they want to do is they want to get through to the mental mind of the human, because if they can get through to the mental mind of the human, that is where the changes can come in order for them to accept and acquiesce the new world system. If you can get people to deconstruct, these laws are about deconstructing society. They're about atomizing humans. They're about breaking the culture. They're about breaking the sexual identities. They're about breaking race down. And what they want is everyone to turn against everyone. You have already in America the Trump-Biden problem, where people are either fiercely Trump or fiercely Biden, and if one is the other one, then they hate each other to such an extent that you've got things like civil war being spoken about. What we're trying to do in the world, what Biden said that he was trying to do, is to create a more accepting world. Well, what you've done by putting these executive orders in that allow grown-ups or people that were once biologically men into women's changing rooms is you're putting or pushing the feminist community or the hard feminist community against the transgender community. So you're actually creating more problems rather than trying to settle the problems or calm them down. For me, what's happening, this is more or less to help change the mentality of the children. It's not for the grown-ups, it's for the children. Because the future is about creating a synthetic human, a post-human, a transhuman. And in order to create that type of being, you need to prepare the race or the humanity at the moment. The adults, you can't program very much, but the children you can. So these laws that you bring in that are changing the ideas and the mentalities of how people perceive who they are and how they identify with their body or race or culture needs to be done on the level of children, because that's where the mind is most porous. The law, for me, the reason why we have separated bathrooms is partly to do because of stopping any abuse that might happen in a bathroom. I think that men should have men's bathrooms and women should have women's bathrooms, and I think probably that it's good to have bathrooms where adults go to their bathroom and children go to their bathroom. The problem with allowing biological men into a female bathroom is that a man can overpower a woman, and it might not be very long before you have men that are messed up in the head that wish to use this situation to pretend that they are transgender to gain access to female bathrooms in order to carry out exploitative actions. And what this will do is push women further against the transgender and further against the male community, because the males will be seen as people that take advantage of the situation and are predatory, and transgender people are people that will never ever be fully trusted. You also start to make females feel very worried about and insecure about their bodies in a private space, and you will slowly start to push females out of things like changing rooms and bathrooms for fear there may be a biological male in there which makes them feel uncomfortable. What you'll do is you'll start to make people feel uncomfortable about their sexuality. Women will feel insecure that they are vulnerable and weak, and the reason why they're insecure is because they lack that physical muscle that men have. Men will be seen as the predators, they'll be seen as the abusers because of their physical strength and the testosterone levels. So if at the school level, the child level, you can get these ideas into the children's, especially the female's head, you create a lot of uncertainty and confusion, which makes people feel uncomfortable with their body. The males, the transgender, the females. And what that does is it creates a platform to accept a new type of human to come along, the synthetic, the post-human, the transhuman. As well with the past and the history of different types of people. The white community have a history which is very much pushed against them, for instance, like slavery. Yet, why is it only the white people are attacked for things like slavery when the Muslim community or the Arab community had a slave trade which well outperformed the white slave trade? And why are the white men attacked in society for persecuting women in the past when you still have countries in Arabia which still persecute women? Because this isn't about trying to atomize and change society for the better. It's about attacking certain elements in society which can create change in the future. If you change anything in Saudi Arabia to do with their history, or attack them for their history, or attack them for the way that they treat women, it's not going to have any massive change on the world. But if you attack the white, democratic, northern societies which hold a large amount of power and make changes that do affect the world, then you're going to make more changes possible. So that's why the people in the white, northern, democratic hemisphere countries are being attacked more than other people in other countries. This is nothing to do with legacy systems or history. This is to do about trying to create as much change in order to program the destiny of where they want us to go. The future is to have a person, a type of human which cannot reproduce and doesn't have a sexuality, which will have the same mentality, the same physical strength, the same mental strength, because that solves all the problems for the feminists, for the blacks, for the Asians, for the whites, for the males, the females. It's to start again. And this new person, entity, can be controlled by society. The reproduction of it can be allocated to people which they are sure is going to program this new human, post-human, in a specific way which is in line with the agenda. And that may happen from schools, or it may happen from certain people picked out in society. Already they have the technology to reproduce humans outside of a womb. They don't need females anymore. They don't need males anymore. The transgender, the person that does not reproduce, is all they need. The new human that they want to prepare is going to be a non-sexual, non-reproducing human that is outside of sex, outside of race, outside of culture, outside of religion. And this new human is not going to be just in the natural world. It's going to be linked up to the internet and the technological world, where the two will unite. And in order to get that technology into the system, you need to start separating yourself from the identity of your system. And that comes through separating yourself from your sexuality and from your race. And part of these laws are going to make people feel very bad about their sexuality and put them into situations which make them nervous, which encourage them to opt for this new synthetic human which will be offered to them in the future, if not them, their children. This is just a preparation ground.